Alright then, let's learn why most atheists are assholes. And we'll finally get back to how any of this relates to social justice. It's about time.
Some people select no because they feel derisive toward the part of themselves that wants to say yes.
Derisive towards the part of themselves that wants to say yes. But in order to realize that a part of you is worthy of derision, that some opinion that you hold is silly and worth mocking, you must already hold a contrary viewpoint. You must already have the opposite opinion. So the atheist doesn't believe in God, a part of him wants to believe in God, but since the atheist doesn't believe in God, he realizes that that part is silly, so he is derisive towards that part, and therefore he chooses not to believe in God, which he already didn't. That part of you could never be the cause of the bigger opinion. The bigger opinion is the cause of the derision, not the other way around.
That's maybe why a lot of prominent atheists are, well, assholes?
Generalizations.
I mean, until recently, I thought the atheists are assholes thing was just what some religious people thought about atheists no matter what they said. But
most of her research comes right out of her ass.
But that clip had nothing to do with atheism. Okay, fair enough, atheists might be assholes when talking to religious people, they might be, insensitive, they might mock them, but in general? You're saying that atheists are assholes in general? Even when they're not sort of practicing their atheism, even when they're not preaching? Because that makes you a bigot, my friend. Or at least you're promoting a very negative stereotype and being prejudiced against atheists. Let's go back to what you just said, and I'll address it in a different way this time.
That's maybe why a lot of prominent atheists are, well, assholes?
Oh, for sure, a lot of prominent atheists are assholes. Like Richard Dawkins and Jennifer Michael Hecht and Christopher Hitchens and Stephen Hawking. He's a total dick. Michael Shermer, Lawrence Krauss. Sam Harris, he kind of is a bit of an asshole, as is P.Z. Myers, a bit of a social justice warrior, and James Randi and Susan Blackmore, and I could go on, the list is pretty long. And these are just the people who are famous for being atheists, people who have written about atheism, rationalism, and skepticism. The list of celebrities who are famous for other things who just happen to be atheists is also quite extensive, but I'm sure they're all assholes. Now, let's apply your own logic to a slightly different group of people and see how comfortable it makes you.
I mean, until recently, I thought the
black people are violent and dangerous
thing was just what some
racist people said no matter what they did.
But
no, come back in here! Come in here!
Yeah, you see how that feels? Obviously there's a distinction to be made between an atheist and a black person, since one is a choice and the other one is born with it, but you could put Jew in there, you could put Christian, you could put Muslim. Those are also choices just as much as atheism is. You could put vegan.
You have probably fantasized about me licking your vagina.
You could put social justice warrior. You could put, gamer. Oh. One person that is part of some group, no matter what that group is, does not represent that entire group and does not share traits with that entire group, you fucking racist. Oh shit, I ain't even mad though. Fuck. Let's just leave it.
So this is where we're stuck. Big, complicated questions about the right way to live in this world, and no matter what answer we come out with, we're probably not going to enjoy the process that gets us there.
Hey, speak for yourself. I actually really enjoy these things.
And we're all generally happier when we quietly agree that we don't need to ask. And there's that sober person at the party. It's not what she says, it's what she is. She's someone who asked, who thought that asking was better than not asking, and worse, she came back with the non-reassuring answer.
As we discussed in the previous installment of this series, no, not necessarily. She doesn't have to be someone who asked a tough question, or challenged her own established worldview. She might have just had a default of not drinking.
Which means it's at least possible that if you had that debate you don't want to be having, you wouldn't be holding that beer right now, and you almost certainly wouldn't have had those shots earlier. And you're thinking, or maybe even starting to say, I shouldn't have to have this debate right now, I just wanted to go to a fucking party. I'm normal. This is a normal thing to do.
But any responsible adult has already had that debate. Maybe not extremely deeply or thoughtfully, but at least they've decided that drinking is okay for them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be doing it. However, I will grant you that people do lie to themselves an awful lot, and, well, sometimes people do things that they know are wrong. If this person feels that drinking is wrong, but I still kinda wanna do it, let's just ignore the moral implication of it, and then suddenly there's this person at the party who's like, no thanks, I don't drink. That might prompt an internal debate, which you really don't want to have because you're gonna expose your own lie to yourself. This might be what you're getting at. If it is, I agree. If it isn't, I don't know what you're getting at, really.
And all they said was, no thanks, I don't drink. But that doesn't matter. What you heard was, you're a bad person. These beliefs are easy to hold when doubt is not entered into the equation. Introduce doubt, and they're all still possible, but they're no longer easy.
Sure they are. They're just your opinions. You never have to struggle to hold an opinion. Unless you're just deluding yourself and forcing yourself to hold some opinion that you don't actually agree with. Expressing them in society, however, yeah, that might be more difficult.
And the alternative beliefs aren't easy either and may demand changes in lifestyle. When offered a forked path where each destination is difficult, most people would rather just stay put.
I agree with that sentiment. Humanity is pretty resistant to change, and if something's easier, we tend to just do it. Path of least resistance and all that.
But in the grand scheme, people like this, people who have to function as symbols for complicated debates other people are trying not to have with themselves, people who maybe just wanted to go to a party too, they aren't suffering that much. These things, in and of themselves, don't make you a minority.
Well, actually, by definition, it does. But I get what you mean. You're talking about minoritized people, not just a statistical or mathematical minority.
At the end of the day, they can say, that sucks, but fuck it, and go back to their godless, tasteless, joyless, powerless lives.
Alright, I'm gonna have to give you that one.
But now we circle back to people who are minoritized.
Who? Superficially white people of Armenian descent? Because you can't mean women. Women are not a minority, nor are they minoritized.
Because this reflex to anger, this distilling of a person's presence, of their existence, to a critique of oneself, is how white people often respond to conversations about race.
Well, I'm not sure how you got to it, because it's not really logically connected. I think your conclusion here is fairly correct for a large number of people. A lot of people would prefer not to even think about race relations, because it's messy and complicated, and I shouldn't have to think about this.
How straight people often respond to conversations about sexuality. How people with money often respond to poverty, how cis people often respond to conversations about gender, and how Angry Jack responds to people like Anita Sarkeesian.
I think it's quite unfair to compare Anita Sarkeesian with race relations or gay rights, but I see why you do it. You think that it's perhaps not equally important, but it is another important struggle for social justice, to get women equality. I get it, but for me, it's almost cringeworthy to think that you're putting this pop culture critic right next to civil rights.
Anita Sarkeesian is that woman at the party, who does not say, but whose presence in his mind suggests that if he thought more critically about the media he consumes, he wouldn't be playing his favorite games. And that if he continues playing, having heard from her, it means he's a terrible person.
Well, it's true, I am a terrible person, although that has little to do with the games I play. And I do think critically about the games I consume. I just don't agree with her. Your entire argument here hinges on Anita Sarkeesian preaching gospel. Everything she says must be true. But I don't agree with that. I don't agree with her premise whatsoever. Therefore, none of this works. There's no part of me that feels guilty because Anita Sarkeesian is challenging my worldview and, oh my god, what if she's right? I would be a terrible person for playing all these games. No, I don't agree with her.
She never says this. She doesn't believe this. But she makes him fear that it's true. These are people that he has social and political power over. That makes the whole thing a whole lot uglier.
Bull fucking shit. I don't have any political or social power over Anita Sarkeesian. I'm not even from America, but even if I was, what influence would I have over her? Explain yourself. What influence? You can't just claim that I have some sort of political power and not tell me about it. I want in on this power. Don't just tease me like that. If I have some power to influence and control people that are as famous as Anita Sarkeesian, I'm gonna use the shit out of that. Give that power to me. Tell me how to exercise that power. Unless you mean, what, Gamergate? A hashtag movement? Did we have... But she's... No. If Angry Jack as a collective had some kind of power we could put on Anita Sarkeesian, if we had social and political power over her, why was she on the fucking Colbert Report? I mean, come on, she's famous as fuck and she's making a lot of money. She has so much more political power and cachet than we do. Than I do, than you do. This is bullshit. Anita Sarkeesian is not a minority, and she's not some sort of automatic victim in this. Attacking Anita Sarkeesian, for me, is punching up. I'm punching up towards somebody who has a lot more influence than me. I'm not attacking somebody in the gutter, for crying out loud. I'm attacking somebody who speaks at conferences in front of thousands of people. I'm attacking somebody who is far more successful and influential than I am. And yes, I'm using the word attack here in the sense of political attacks, not, violence. I've never sent her a death threat or harassed her. Alright, and we're done for this time. Next time around, we're gonna go back to talking about Ronald Reagan again. I'm gonna redo a lot of the stuff that we covered in episode 0, but do it properly this time. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to and or watching this video. And please don't hate me, I'm cringing as I do it, but leave some comments down below. I'd very much like to hear what you guys think. Also, if you want to share this video with some people, that'd be great. I'd love for some more people to watch these. Oh, God, that was painful. How do people do that? Oh.